The rich don't think like you. The powerful don't move like you. And the winners? They do what makes you uncomfortable, on purpose. This isn't about good vibes. This is about how 4 ruthless minds turned pressure into power and silence into empires. This is how the powerful think. And for most of you, it's going to sting. He said he'd love to lose everything. That it would be fun. That it would be light work. You know what that tells me? You're not built like him. And that's exactly why you're failing. Michael Rubin, $10+ billion net worth, CEO of Fanatics. While you're still complaining about your $50,000 ceiling, at 15, debt collectors were banging on his door. At 21, he was flipping liquidation junk from his parents' basement. At 23, he cleared $10 million. What were you doing at 23? Exactly. Here's the truth. You're not losing because you lack opportunity. You're losing because you're soft. Everyone said sports betting was locked. DraftKings, FanDuel, done. Rubin didn't flinch. He built ESPN Bet into a major player in 18 months. While you were refining your resume, he was rewriting the rules. Your Facebook ad fails? You quit. His $50 million deal collapses? He says, good, now I know what doesn't work. You see failure as a wall. He sees it as feedback. You want comfort? Watch Netflix. You want what Rubin has? Get addicted to discomfort. In 2009, his company collapsed. Revenue down, stock in the dirt. Net worth? Negative. He doubled down during the crash. 2 years later, sold for $2.4 billion. You say pressure breaks people? He builds under pressure. He spent 6 years building GSI Commerce. While friends laughed at his online store, you gave up your side hustle after 3 months. His edge? Relationships. Not for likes, for leverage. Anyone can win in good times, he said. But when it falls apart, that's when I separate myself. Rubin doesn't build to exit. He builds to outlast. Anyone can win in good times, he said. But when it falls apart, that's when I separate myself. Rubin doesn't build to exit. He builds to outlast. No fallback. No backdoor. Just war mode. You're planning the weekend. He's planning the next 50 years. Rubin doesn't want applause. He wants legacy. Your blueprint? It's going to hurt. 1. Stop lying about why you're failing. 2. Run straight into the fear. 3. Move fast while they're still making excuses. And here's the part that'll sting. Most of you won't do any of it, because in Rubin's world, failure isn't the end. It's tuition. And most of you, you're too cheap to pay. Prove me wrong. Still think you're built for this? Prove it. Drop your mindset in the comments, I'll know if it's real. Rubin's world is built on speed, clarity, and brutal resilience, but not every empire starts in a boardroom. Some are born in silence, in studios, in basements, on nights where nobody believes except the creator. You heard from the businessman, now meet the artist who refused to be owned. The one who turned rejection into revenue and said no to $50 million just to keep his soul. Russ, the one who refused $50 million and never looked back. Russ said no to $50 million, not because he didn't need it, but because he refused to sell himself. 100% independent, 500+ songs, owns every single one. He made a song for $9 and it made him $2 million. That's not luck, that's leverage. You're not underpaid, you're undercommitted. Most artists, 1 song, 2 posts, 0 patience. Russ, 11 albums before anyone noticed. You don't need faith. You need to stop expecting applause after 48 hours of effort. That's what he says. You post once and panic. You want to win, build a catalog. Not a moment, a system. Labels begged him, 50 million's cash. He walked away. Why? Because music is his soul, and selling it would mean selling himself. Most of you already sold out, for likes, for exposure, for crumbs. Russ doesn't pray for virality, he builds equity. Every track he owns pays him while he sleeps. What do you own? Another TikTok filter? He doesn't care if you like him, he cares if the work compounds. You can't drop 3 videos without crying burnout. He dropped 80 in a year. You want his success? Then stop begging, build the system. Drop the ego, own the work. If you've made it this far, you're not like the rest. So prove it. Subscribe. Share this with someone who's still making excuses. And don't just watch the next chapter. Execute. Let's get uncomfortable together. Russ didn't just protect his art. He protected his identity. He built something that couldn't be bought. But not all success is loud. Some is quiet, durable, debt-free. You've heard from the mogul, the artist. Now meet the man who built a billion-dollar empire from a truck. The one who refused to raise the price and built generational wealth with a 99-cent product. Arizona iced tea, 99 cents, for decades. No price hike, no investors, no debt. Don Voltaggio didn't play the startup game. He played the ownership game. You rent an office for a brand you haven't built. He scaled without hiring, doubled business. Same team. You can't scale because you can't say no. He said no to Wall Street, marketing firms, and every shortcut. While everyone else raised prices, Don kept it 99 cents. Why? Because he could. Because he wasn't buried in debt. You raise your price every 3 weeks. Not because you're growing, because you're drowning. His dad made $15,000 a year. Don didn't inherit wealth. He inherited focus. Legacy wasn't his dream. It was the plan. He never ran a Super Bowl ad, never needed a PR firm. His packaging was the marketing. You want to build like Don? Then stop selling hype. Start building value. And learn how to say no. Don didn't build for buzz. He built for his grandchildren. You still want the hype? Or are you ready to build something real? If you respect what Don built, then stop talking about legacy and start laying bricks. Share this if you know someone still begging for funding. And stick around. Because next one isn't about business. It's about leading when everything's burning. Ruben built with speed. Russ built with control. Don built with silence. But what happens when your product isn't a brand, it's a city? This next man didn't just climb out of pain. He led millions through it. Eric Adams. The one who went from rejected to elected. When he said he'd be mayor, they laughed. Said he was delusional, that he should give up. Now he runs New York City, 8.5 million people, most powerful city in the world. He was bullied, dyslexic, couldn't read out loud in school, but he didn't quit. He built systems to win. You fold after one mean comment. He rose from a lifetime of doubt. Let your haters be your waiters when you sit at the table of success. He lost cops, held dying infants, woke up every day with the weight of a city on his back. You break from online pressure. He governs through real-life crisis. Dark places aren't burials, he said. They're plantings. Most of you pray for peace. Adams works in chaos. You worry of people like you. He works with both sides, Democrat, Republican, because progress, pride. He wakes up to GPS. God positioning system. Faith isn't marketing. It's how he breathes. Be bold. Be true. But most of all, be you. He didn't win because he was perfect. He won because he didn't stop. From bullied to ballot boxes. From ignored to elected. The next time you want to quit, remember. Eric Adams spent decades being told he couldn't, then woke up one day and ran the city that said no. You've just met 4 ruthless minds. A builder, an artist, a silent giant, a street-born leader. They didn't beg for chances. They bled for clarity. And while the world was making excuses, they were making blueprints. You're still here. That means you feel it too. So here's what you do now. Subscribe if you're done lying to yourself. Share this if you've got someone who talks big but builds nothing. And come back not for comfort, but for the truth. Because here, we don't chase hype. We don't wait for permission. We get uncomfortable and we get it done.